Okay, looks like the audio's working. Looks like we're going. Well, anyway, how's everybody tonight? Today, depending on what time of you may be watching this. I'm getting ready to do some t-shirts for my daughter's cheer. They're in the Christmas parade or whatnot. I figured I'd just do a quick video. A little something different. I know you see the Createx and Gallery on the screen. Again, I'm not sponsored by them. It's just brushes I like to use and products I like to use. So, anywho, let's see. Let me get rid of me. Okay. Tonight I'm using the cricut, whatever you want to call it. I've had this thing for a dog's age. It's still kicking around. I do have the Cameo for the big one. I mean, but it's long. It's it's I don't know, over 3 feet wide anyway. It's a big one. You can cut 24 by 44. Usually you put your vinyl or whatever decal stuff, or I'm just using heat transfer, HTV, whatever you might want to call it. This isn't how I normally do my t-shirts. You can't see like the let me see. Where's display? Now, of course, I didn't mark it. That's not what I wanted. This one. Well, you can't really see it too good because I got the green lights on. I can turn that on. Anyways, like, it's a better product. It's a heat transfer. I usually send my artwork off to the to the company, and then 3 or 4 days later they ship me back my heat transfers. I don't know how good you can see it. Yeah, okay. Let's do that again. A little bit better. Stuff like the Cricut vinyl that you buy at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart, whatever. It's like I said, these girls are probably going to wear the shirt one time during the parade, and that's it. So I'm just using some cheaper stuff. You can get 20 sheets, 12 by 12, 20 sheets for, I don't know, I think I paid like $10 or $12, something like that. It's just standard white. You have a glossy side, and then you do have a matte side. And I am cutting the matte side up. Almost took me a minute. This is normally sticky. This is probably about as old as the machine. I got a bunch of them. I got some newer ones upstairs. They come in like 3 different grips. You got a light grip, medium grip, standard. This is the green one. This is a standard grip. But what I'll do is I'll just tape the edge, tape it down, and it's got a little thing. You may be familiar with these. But if I was to, kind of like you see them, if I was to cut some vinyl out, if this was just restickable vinyl or whatever, if I'm doing artwork, like you see a lot of artists out there do. Scott does it a lot for us beginners and so forth. This is pretty much the same process. The only difference between the Cameo 4, it's a lot bigger. You can cut a lot. You can do a 12 by 18 piece. This you can only do, it's actually 11.5 by, it's 12 by 12, but when it goes down, it's 11.5 by 11.5 is, I believe, the biggest you can do on these. Let me see. Actually, let me change over to Let me do this, and then let me do screen share. Capture the screen. Add. Okay. There we go. Now you're seeing, should see. Okay. Is the mouse moving? I think you can see this. Anyway, hopefully it's showing. I guess I'll find out. I think it is. This shows the green mat. And you can see 11.5 by 11.5. So you have 1/4 inch on each side basically. Actually, this ain't as quite as wide as the, you can see the red line over here. Same thing as kind of like the Silhouette Studio for the Cameo, which is actually a lot better. I just didn't feel like using the big one tonight, and I want to at least try to get these cut, and then tomorrow I'll just do a little bit of tape. I don't know if that's gonna, see, I can actually move this over, I think. Yes, I can. Smidge. So that gives me a little bit of barrier on the sides to maybe put some tape. Just to hold it down, which of course you're not seeing me now, are you? Do this. Okay. There we go. I'll pull it back up in a minute when I start the program, but just kind of hold it down a little bit. If it cuts through the tape a little bit, it'll be okay. But hopefully it'll. See, it won't go. It should stay. Let me fold those over a little bit. Okay, so what you do is you always leave about a foot behind there, 10-12 inches, something like that, because it goes, feeds it through. I just had that closed. So basically what we're going to do, you won't see once I do the other screen. You will once I come back to it. You got these little tracks here. And you just, when you click feed it, I can probably go ahead and feed it now. Oh, it was already, hopefully it stays down. It does its thing, and then when you go back over to let's see, this one. So when you go back over to here, it's ready to go. It'll say, well, I'll have to set my settings, make sure it's on. Might need the glasses. Should be a setting on here, it says iron on. You got paper, vinyl, iron on, light card start, heavy card start, fabric, poster board, or custom. And you can go in there and change, like if I'm cutting mylar for stencils, or so it's on iron on. So when I click continue, base set, oh yeah, make sure mirror, oh yeah. I didn't, so let's go back. Yes, I'm sure. Let's turn Okay, being it's the, if you notice now it's backwards because it'll cut it out backwards, obviously mirror. So when it flips down on the shirt like so, your carrier is face up and your letters will be. But normally I don't do my t-shirts on this. This is just, I'm only printing out 10 quick shirts, and it's a budget thing. Continue. Make sure it's mirrored. Yeah, I did that. Okay, see, you can't see it right yet, but let me go over here. Display. See how the light's flashing? It's telling me to load it. And you just feed it in there, and it'll go under the rollers and do itself. And then we go back to the screen, and it'll tell you here, number 2. Well, it's not showing on the screen for some reason, but anyway, maybe I got to present. But you go to number 2, it'll say I can edit the tools, and whether it be a deep point blade or a fine point, whichever, apply. But I can also go in and change. If I had this to custom, I can go in and change how many times it makes a pass, how strong, all that. Yeah, so, and then basically the C for the cut is on, and you press that, and then, well, it should be showing it loads a minute. Ooh. Let me so let me go back here. And they'll cut it out, and then you weed it, what they call weeding. Weed out the pieces you don't want. And basically, like if you've watched Scott do it on his art, and he has his masking on his panel, when he takes a piece off and sprays, that's basically weeding. But it just shouldn't take too long. Big letters, and this should be enough to make 2 shirts. The way I did it, the elf was on the bottom, 2 L's, and so I could get as much. I can make 2 shirts with this one. Normally this is all stuck down really well, but this don't have no. And you can cut the 11.5 with the cricut, and it has a 24-inch sheet, so you could do like an 11 by 19, something like that, if you were using this machine to cut out the restickable vinyl or whatever, if you're doing artwork and want to do it that way, or make a stencil, or, but you can see where it feeds in the back, how it, you got to leave clearance back there. And what it does is on the screen it tells you, how much it's cutting, how the percent. Sometimes, see, that's the problem with the tape, it catches if it's not down real good, but which could mess up if it snags too much. Normally it just slides right under there, but must not have had it down too good. I just didn't want to run all the way up to my room and get a new mat. I got a tote up there that has %69. Hopefully it's sticking down enough. Should be. $89. It's probably close to being done, even though it says 89. Sometimes it finishes before. Doing big letters like this is the elf, I think is 3 inches, and the squad might be 4 inches. And you can see it's done. And then it pops out, goes back to the beginning, and you hit the flashing arrow and it unloads it, and then you can't really let's minimize that. Well, it's still going to show, I think. Let me see. Might not now. Make that bigger. Yeah, you can't really, because it's white and it's glare and you can't see it, but you can see where it cut out. If I had some, which I don't want to do it because it'll mess with the, like Scott puts like charcoal down and it shows the lines. But if I do that here, see, it's lettering backwards. This is what heats up and sticks. So if I put that down, but I can, let me see, I got a little knife here. Normally what I do is I'll take it off the mat, and I have a light board over here, which you probably can't see. No, you can't. Actually, oh, easy. I'll get them all done, and then I'll do another video of me putting them on the transfer. Let's see if I can scooch this over here a little bit, enough where you can see. I'll see it start. You can see the light board. And what I'll do is I'll take it off the mat, take the tape off. I may go upstairs and get a fresh mat so I don't have to. Yeah, see it cut right along that tape. See, now I gotta get that tape off, otherwise it'll be under the, that's the disadvantage if you're using the whole majority of the sheet. Let run over the tape. It's just that one little section, but you might not be able to. Maybe if I turn this one back off, and I can see it a little better. But see, now I can lay that up there on a light box, which I have a like an LED real thin one now that I use. This just stays down here, but you can see the lines real good and makes it easier to weed out like the center of the, this is the Q. I don't normally like doing this for my shirts, but This is a little tedious because you gotta go in and tear all this off. I'll pause it and then come back and show when I'm done weeding it. Hang on, it'll be 2 seconds for y'all, but maybe 10 minutes for me. 15. Alright, I goofed. I hit, instead of unpause, I hit something else. But anyway, so it shut it down. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. I don't know, it's probably been about 5 minutes. And you can see, let me get myself out of the way here. You can see where I generally try to do the middle first, depending, because you know this carry is real sticky. So you know, and then you place it down like so on the shirt, and then it's, you know, but I do the middle this way here. I can turn the light on. You know, you can lay your hand or whatever. It's hard to see in this light, but you know, and then vinyl, you can almost sometimes just take it right off all in one swoop, but I just take a couple extra minutes. And this is real, like almost rubbery, you know, stretchy. So I try to take a couple extra minutes and just, and say you get, because it's sticky, so I try to get the middle. Usually I'll do all the like middle section, like the little stuff like the O's or the A's or the middle of the D's or whatever, and then I'll start the you know, the outside of it. Just how I do it. There's no particular way to do it. There's no right or wrong. And they make picks and little tools, and you know, you can use this is probably not quite as, to help you get the corner maybe instead of the knife. Can't see it. I don't want to mess up the, there it is. See, this is not quite as, they make a little other tools like you can scrape and get underneath it and all that mess, but I generally just use my knife to get a corner and just peel it up. Like what I'll do is I'll cut like in the middle, so I'm only peeling off this half, and then I'll peel off that half. This way it don't stick on itself. And kind of see if I can show you here, like here, between there and there. And then I'll take this, like if I was doing a decal or lettering for a car or a sign, the carrier is not sticky, so it's not quite as bad. See how it only took half of it? Which I could have took the whole U, but My head's probably in the way. Not even looking. Sorry if my head was in the way. I wouldn't want to look at it either. The lettering itself is not sticky like the carrier sheet, which is basically the same thing if you were doing vinyl letters and then you use transfer tape and you squeegee the transfer tape and get all the bubbles out, and then you can just cut it. I didn't think about that either. I don't have any. That's not good. You always want to make sure you go through and check your excuse me. See, I about messed up. I almost grabbed it. I started to grab the letter. It's easy to do if you're not paying attention. I've done it 1,000 times. Especially when it's late, like now. What time is it? 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. See, I'll cut right here just to make a little notch, and then it'll only go. It's a heck of a game. I don't know if anybody's watching it. What is it? Alabama and Auburn. And I'll go like between the letters just to make it a little easier. Pull half of it off and then to me it's just a little easier. Vinyl's not quite as tough either, I don't think. This is kind of stretchy. And then you can go in and take out the middles. Of course, my hands don't work the best anyway, but so some of you might not struggle as much as I am. Not struggling, but where I can't. Don't have a lot of feeling in my hands. But I'm not complaining. A couple years ago, didn't even know I had hands, so I am not complaining. Three months in a coma, yeah, I'm good. gotta be easy, because you can, you just want to lightly pick up the corner. You don't want to dig through the back carrier. Just pick up a corner and just make it easier to peel out. Normally I would just weed one and then go and put it right on the heat press and heat it. I just wanted to show, if you're watching other videos and you hear somebody say weeding, and you know what they're talking about. There, now it's ready to be, well, I would cut in between the words, and then normally if it was just one, if I was just doing one shirt, I just leave it all there, and then you just flip it over and get it lined up on your sheet or your shirt or t-shirt or whatever it is, blanket, whatever, something you might be doing. But I'll have to cut it and then stick it, and then stick another one where I need to, and where it's centered onto the shirt. But I wasn't thinking weeding this out. I could probably use some parchment paper if I have any. Actually, you know what? I have I don't know. I still may stick to the Teflon sheet. I wasn't thinking, guys. Well, anyway, normally I'd get them all cut, and I wasn't thinking. So let me do a quick video, and wasn't using my noggin. So now I have but I can set it over here out of the way, and then just basically go back to the cut, do the same process. I'll probably go upstairs and get a new board or whatever you want to call these things. Normally you can just wash these with just a little bit of soap and water, like a little Scotch-Brite or something, because stuff gets stuck to it, hair and lint and this, that, and the other, dirt, and they tend to lose their sticky. But then I scrubbed it with the brush and some water before there's a couple spots that are a little tacky. You can take like light, I don't think I have any, like tack glue or like a light adhesive spray and recoat it, but usually you don't have to do that, which I don't even know if this thing even sprays. Probably not, it's so old. But like, I got some it's just Beacon by just a multi-purpose adhesive spray. I could just put a couple little dots on there and do it that way too, but it's really not worth it. I mean, I got probably a dozen of these things. Some are old, and then before I had the 24-inch, I'd put two of these together and tape it on the back side. And before I got, when I first started, because you can get a package of these, they're like 3 or 5 in a package. You can get the multi-package where it has like the light stick, the standard stick, and the heavy stick, something like that. I haven't bought any in so many years, I don't remember, but you can see where where it's just smooth. There's no more adhesive on it. This one, probably one of the original ones. I don't know. I just grabbed the first one I saw that was down here in the studio. Well, anyways, thanks guys. Appreciate you checking this video out. I just wanted to do a quick one. You know, something easy, something different that I do. I'd greatly appreciate if you guys would like, share, you know, help me grow. I have a couple affiliates that are interested in working with me, but I do need to get my subscribers up. And, you know, I don't know, according to the algorithm, they say, you know, leave a comment. You know, you don't even have to leave a comment. Leave it like an emoji, a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the comment thing. Even emoji, it just shows the algorithm that folks are interacting or something. Get your video shown a little more. But thank you all. I appreciate it. You guys have been great. I appreciate all the advice and help that you guys leave. And hopefully, what's tomorrow? Sunday. I know my daughter's off. I don't know what my son works, but I'd like to do a live. I don't know. We'll see if Michael's not on or something. If nobody's on, maybe I'll jump on and do a live and work on the Mustang for a little while. I may go live and finish these up if I hadn't got done with them yet. All right, guys, have a great day or night, whichever it may be that you're seeing this. Be kind to each other. Be blessed, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone.